I think I'm a pretty logical person. I work in the IT environment. It's very logical. My team solves business problems, computer problems, and I have to explain what happened, and it's pretty logical. So as I was preparing today, I came across a story that resonated with me. It's a story about St. Augustine, great philosopher and theologian. He was very preoccupied with the doctrine of the Blessed Trinity. He wanted so much to understand the doctrine of one God in three persons, but he wanted to be able to explain it logically. One day he was walking on the seashore, just reflecting on the Trinity, and he saw a little child alone by the shore. The child made a hole in the sand, ran to the sea with a little cup, filled the cup with water, went back to the hole, and poured the water into the hole. Augustine continued to watch the child do this over and over and over again. And finally, the story suggests that Augustine approached her and asked, "Little child, what are you doing?" She replied, "I'm trying to empty the sea into this hole." "How do you think then," Augustine asked her, "that you can empty this immense sea into this tiny hole with this tiny cup?" She thought about it a while and answered back, "And you, how do you suppose with that tiny head you can comprehend the immensity of God?" And with that she disappeared. Today we celebrate one of the greatest mysteries of our faith, the Holy Trinity. This celebration reminds us that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are working together. They are never separated, though each one of them is a distinct divine person. There is unity of essence and relation within the three divine persons. No amount of philosophical debate or scientific research can fully explain it. It's a mystery that can best be appreciated only through the eyes of faith. In our first reading, Moses reminded us of the wonderful and mysterious nature of the works of God. In other words, that it takes a loving and mysterious God to accomplish such a wonderful and mysterious task of salvation. He encouraged us to strengthen our faith in God by simply obeying his commandments. Then Paul presents the three divine persons in their concrete form and action. Led by the Holy Spirit, we are sons of God, and we are heirs with Christ. It is the same Spirit that proceeds from both the Father and the Son that helps us to call God our Father. And in the gospel, Christ himself revealed the mystery of all three divine persons in us. He revealed this with the mandate, "Go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit." I get to baptize 4 children today after Mass in the group baptism. It's one of the most enjoyable things I get to do as a deacon. Today, the church reminds us that the three divine persons are not divided in action and grace. Instead, they work and walk together. They have the same mission, which is the salvation of the world. God revealed himself to us gradually as a Trinity. More of the revelation of the Trinity was when Jesus, the second person in the Trinity, became incarnate. Before Jesus ascended, he promised the Holy Spirit at Pentecost. The coming of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost revealed the third person of the Holy Trinity. God is a Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We are currently teaching Jensen, my grandson, whom many of you know, how to make the sign of the cross. We've practiced hundreds of times, and I think he's almost got it. I'm sure we will practice hundreds more times. But I am struck, though, that when he makes the sign of the cross, he touches his forehead for the Father, but for the Son, he touches his heart 3 times very fast. I reflected on how profound a message he is sending without even knowing it. The Holy Trinity represents the greatest of love to us. God invites us to belong to family, parish, and community. We need the love and support of friendship and others in our family and community, Not only do we want to belong, but we need to belong. God wishes that all belong to his family. We are sons and daughters of God. Stop and think about it. Sons and daughters of God. Jesus is the Son of God, and you are the son or daughter of God. It means Jesus is your brother. Imagine, since the day you were baptized, Jesus is now your brother. His Father is also your Father. I want to conclude with one more story. A man stopped at a well in the town square for a drink. After he had his drink, he continued gazing into the well as if he was looking at someone down at the bottom of the well. A little boy saw him, and though the man was big and tough and rough and tall, he had a kindly face, and so the boy approached him. "Who lives down there?" the little boy asked. "God lives down there," the man answered. The little boy looked down into the well, but all he could see was his own reflection in the water below. Disappointed, he turned to the man and said, "But I can only see myself." "Ah," said the man, "now you know where God lives." Then the man looked in the little boy's eyes and said, "God lives in you.